is Dr. Soumya Maheshwari. I'm a working resident in a government hospital right now, and I'm going to discuss about the current healthcare status in India.
It is lovely having you here.
Very nice.
Today, we're diving deeply into India's healthcare landscape and comparing it globally. If you're a med student, healthcare professional, or just somebody who's interested in India's healthcare, this podcast is for you. Let's start with where India stands today. India is a mix of public and private sectors, and you have the front row seat on how the government hospital works. Can you tell the differences between the private and the public sector's hospitals?
Sure. I can give you an analogy. Government hospitals are like a local train, and private sector is like a first class AC cabin. Local trains are fast, effective, they get the job done, but they're very overwhelming and very crowded. The private sector, the AC chamber, is going to be very convenient, very quick, and very comfortable, but then it's going to cost a bomb, okay? So that is a basic difference that comes with the private sector and the government sector. Both of them get the job done, that is good health, but both of them come at a cost of your wallet, how much it can afford. Private sector is doing great, but it's slightly more expensive. Knowing that almost 60% of Indian population pays out of pocket, it can be slightly exorbitant for them. Government hospitals are cheap, effective, slightly more laborious, slightly more overwhelming. In a government hospital, patients only come to you when it's a necessity. They won't come to you losing out on their wages. That is not like a private sector. In private sector, they have money, they find like smallest inconvenience in their body, they'll come to you with all the Google searches and everything. Government setup, not really. They do not Google search the diagnosis or the symptoms. They'll come to you when they really have something that you need to address. Correct. So you have to scan everything very quickly, treat them like patients who need urgent treatment, evaluate all of that very quickly. Because like by the time you're having your lunch, you must have had 10 deliveries and 300 patient OPD by the time you're going to have your lunch.
So what you're meaning to say is the public sector comes very last minute of their health, like
Matlab if
they don't put that much.
most of them are daily wage workers, okay, or people who are working in jobs who do not get leaves very easily, so they'll schedule everything, number one, especially when the symptoms would be not bearable anymore. So then they'll start planning ki, okay, now we have to go to the hospital, and 9 to 5 is a working hour, right, for daily wage workers, for people who are working doing jobs. तो उन लोगों के लिए they have to like come schedule everything, so they'd expect कि they have to spend the least amount of time, but with the cost effectiveness of it. So they just schedule like one day when they'll have like severest of their symptoms, and then they'll come visit you. So 99% of them would not have Google searched their symptoms, not put in a diagnosis. They would also not be doctor shopping. They have just one option, that is a government hospital. Maybe trust hospitals, a few of them, but again they usually come to the
In the private sector, what we usually tend to do is consult with one place, another place, and then whatever comes out with the best solution.
doctor shopping is very common in private sector. So like people who can afford it, that go to like 3 doctors, and to the third doctor they'll also give like 3 files ki these are the two other doctors I have already visited, they have said me this, I am willing to take your suggestion and evaluate it myself and see what works better for me. And then you have to convince them, see, this is what I feel, and if you are convinced enough, I can treat you, otherwise you can go to whichever doctor who convinced you more. In government hospital, it's like patients come for doctors. In private hospital, doctors go to patients. Okay, so
Do you think
the tables turn.
when you're doctor shopping, obviously the pricing would be different for all, whatever treatment is getting done? Have you noticed the patients to compare the prices and go with the best one that they can do?
Yeah. Like if there are like certain aspects to it. For example, for senior gynecologists who have established themselves and they're like practicing 25-30 years, they have this popularity, they have gained their popularity and trust of people. People are willing to pay as much as they ask for. But for example, people who are young and who have just come out in this space, pricing matter, because when patients come to you, they also take your experience in account. Correct? So the price perspective, they'll go to say Dr. A, he's 35-year-old male surgeon, and this is say 50,000. Second one, 30-year-old, 50,000. But people have recommended this doctor to him. Then the first person would be gone. Even if they like the first person more, but because the second person has been recommended more and the price point is same, they'll go to the second one. But now say that this 50,000 guy who has been recommended twice or thrice, compared to a 55-year-old gentleman who has been practicing for say 30-35 years, and now he is going to charge say 80,000, 90,000, 1 lakh for a procedure, but recommended by 10 people. Then if the patient can afford it, then they'll go to the person who's going to charge 1 lakh. Our new generation, I think there's a shift in the opinions according to the generation as well, and how much accountability Google has taken. So they'll just Google every symptom of theirs, and then they'd come to you. And aged people still would go to the older people, but now our generation has started to
Self-evaluate.
and be inclined towards whoever they feel is better.
The connection matters more with the doctor, like one-on-one, than
Rather than people recommending that doctor to you. Mouth marketing is like still the top notch of it. Like people will come to you if you have been marketed by other people, their friends and families. So price point only comes if none of them have been marketed by anybody. Otherwise the price point will not come. And like I said before, 60% of the people pay out of their pockets. So it's like going bankrupt is slightly heavy. Gaining a debt in just one day. I personally go towards like get an insurance or go to government setups or trust hospitals. I promote that as well, because I think medical debt is real when you go to a hospital and you're paying out of pocket. 1% risk, he believes in 1% risk. 100 निकालोगे तो एक तो मरेगा. I work with कि वो एक भी क्यों मारना है? But then that comes at a cost कि mother undergoes like an LSCS, right? So it's very much like how your doctor approaches to things and what you want. The amount of time we can give in a private hospital, it's significantly more. You see me at a government hospital, I'll be in this messed up bun telling, "Ben, तुम्हें कोई तकलीफ है? नहीं है तो फिर क्यों आई हो?"
like you have to be very quick with
Very
it.
quick, and the way we speak, it's not as polite as you can. We are very rapidly going through questions. We have like a pre-planned checklist in our heads. We do not have the time for them to think and answer. We want prompt answers. That is not the case in a private hospital. They'll give you solid 5 minutes to think. They'll draw
तुम्हें
diagrams.
problem है क्या?
They'll discuss, they'll tell you कि this is the problem, this is why we're planning to do this. They'll explain you the mechanism of it in a private hospital, so you are convinced कि जो हमारे साथ हो रहा है हमको पता है. Government setup does not give you that privilege. Ayushman Bharat scheme, so basically 50 crore people come into that scheme in India. We have a population of 121 crore, so almost 45% population comes into it. Only 12 last statistics suggest, I think 2022 statistics suggest, only 14 crore people have used it. It is just that they're not aware of it, and the paperwork is not as easy. You have to have a ration card from that particular state itself, and then get it converted into PMJ card, and then go through the whole hassle, and then you get the advantages of it. It gives you 5 lakhs per annum, and it's actually very effective. In Swimmer we use it, and there are people who have actually gained advantages of it and who have been treated and underwent surgeries. It's very effective. I think we just need more awareness towards it. So yeah, maybe government should actually work upon how to put them in a better space. I don't think poor population is a problem. They have become very comfortable. In all honesty, government hospitals are doing phenomenal jobs with what they are doing. The only problem is they are overcrowded. We need more hospitals,
And we need more awareness.
more manpower who is dedicated to doing certain things.
Alright, so in your hospital, do you take time to mentor young doctors and med students?
I work at a government hospital, so in our residency program, we are actually given 3 years of teaching experience. So we are supposed to like guide and teach. Basically, we learn through teaching juniors and learning from seniors. Correct. We kind of mentor young batches that come to us for lectures. I think one thing I've always said is be curious and define your boundaries. I wish someone would have told me this when I joined residency or when I was in the final year. I teach the same thing to the younger people who are joining in ki define your boundaries very early in your careers.
Learn everything, but define your boundaries.
Never rule out the possibility of you being wrong.
This implies in all sectors and all industries as well, that no matter how experienced you are, no matter how many years of experience you have, always be ready to navigate from wrong to right, and always be open to opportunities. Do you ever compare how doctors are trained abroad versus here?
They have fixed schedules, fixed shifts, and once your shift is over, you are not liable to do anything. That is not how it is in India. So, like if you go to UK or US, they will assign you the number of hours and they'll stick to it. We in India, we might have like certain fixed hours on paper, but off paper, that is not the case. So, once your senior has said something, then you have to do it. But then another thing that is a pro to the same thing is, even if it's like 2 a.m. and they are not on their shifts and you need help, you'll feel very comfortable calling them. That is not the case there you have to figure it out on your own, because the other person is not working. So I think better working hours and slightly increasing the pay for people who are actually getting into medicine. The medicine sector has become very expensive, and people who come and actually work as doctors, either they are giving like real fees which is very significant, very much higher than what everybody else in a lot of other sectors are paying. Affordability becomes a question. Then they are also getting into the financial debt. US mein there's a lot of debt, but then they can recover it since the pays are really nice. In other countries they already have a sense of direction ki what they're going to do next. There are opportunities available. In India, even that market is saturated. If you've like been trained in urban city, then if you want to stay in urban city, everything is saturated. Then you'll have to go rural. If you've already lived your life in an urban city, why would you shift to rural? Rural does not have doctors, so you might as well, but then they do not have facilities. So it's a very loop, yeah, and there is no right choice.
Are you guys using any tech in the hospital right now, like the new tech?
Laparoscopy and robotics, both of them have like established themselves now. In government hospitals, yes, they are trying to inculcate everything, but again there are like bars to how much they can have it. Everything that is technologically sound, no, it has a big learning curve. So people who are being trained into it itself is going to take time. We are already lagging by 10 years, even if we have the tech. And to get that tech and for it to reach a government hospital, it takes another 10 years. So we lag by 20-25 years. By that time, another tech comes in.
Tell me more about AI and sonographies.
So it will, for example, if you're in the right plane, no, it will tell you that you're in the right plane. When you are in the right plane, it will mark it for you. Okay, you are in the right plane. It will suggest you, okay, this is the better plane, and it will click all the images and see, okay, these are the options, and these are the planes you have created. I think this is a better plane if you want to continue with the same plane.
This is so much faster.
Yeah, faster and more effective. Adding machine for precision is always better than humans, but machines cannot completely eradicate human decision making. Like I said, we do not treat the reports, we are treating
The patient.
patients. So AI do not understand that.
AI goes by the books.
Yes,
We go by the patient's feelings.
exactly. The technical stuff, AI is doing it better than us.
I think AI have actually changed a lot in the medical field. It is also said that after antibiotics, AI is the next big thing for the healthcare. The first thing is administration. Administration has been very tedious for the staff itself. Like you need not just one person but teams to teams. Like there needs to be relation between and coordination between like the reception, the finance team, the nursing staff. It is a big hassle. Like even to get the claims, it is very difficult. It can help you book the appointments much easier. Basic queries can be sorted very easily. It can even tell you where to park your car. It can guide you throughout the hospital. Like it can keep the whole hospital together, which I don't think a single person can do. Patient has a different experience when the whole hospital is incorporated with the AI.
I think is development of AI bots. So there have been like associated AI bots where you can type in and have like a 24-hour helpline. So if you need something that is immediate, we have already stored that on the bot, the chat bot. And if you put in that particular symptom, there would be at least a symptomatic relief management that would be suggested by a hospital's bot, which would be comparatively more significant and scientific than a normal routine Google search.
Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey of India's healthcare sector. If you're passionate about making impacts and making connection, Adamus Circle is here to connect visionaries, collaborate, and shape the future together. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and give us a follow on Instagram. Thank you.